An acupuncturist and the founder of Blue Lotus Acupuncture. She's practiced for more than 30 years. 35.
So I'm Jackie Haught, and I've been practicing acupuncture for over 35 years. I was working in New York City during the period when there was no effective treatments for HIV disease. And I see a lot of familiar faces here. It's really wonderful to see people and have an event that can celebrate something and continue the growth of our development as human beings. I wanted to introduce somebody who's in the crowd that I want to introduce somebody that was a mentor of mine and helped bring acupuncture to New York City when it wasn't anywhere much in the United States. Walter Bosquet, who was part of one of the founding members of Lincoln Detox. Yeah. Started a school and educated a lot of us. So anyway, I wanted to start off a little bit by talking about that period. I really thought I would never ever be in a place celebrating and talking about aging and HIV disease. Really, this is quite a miracle. You should really understand. There was a time when this was not even a remote possibility. HIV disease, or I should say the struggle to survive it, changed my life, as I am sure it has many of you here tonight. The struggle to survive HIV disease also moved many aspects of our society toward greater compassion and openness. The struggle to survive and to force society to deal with HIV disease in a positive and real way led to a movement of resistance and self and collective empowerment. That movement impacted the human rights struggles of gay people, people of color, and many third world countries. The struggle to survive HIV disease is still a daily battle for people infected with the virus. This is especially true in Africa and many third world countries where HIV medicine access is very limited. The movement to fight AIDS took on the Western medical establishment in the USA and forced it to develop HIV meds on a time schedule that addressed the severity of AIDS. There is still an international movement struggling with the drug companies who made very lucrative HIV meds to make them much more available and affordable to third world poor and developing countries where there's huge amounts of HIV going on. The struggle to fight HIV disease was a conduit for increased mutual respect and cooperation between Western medicine establishment and complementary natural-based modalities like traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. It significantly contributed to the licensing of acupuncture in many states, and that was really true here in New York State. It led to the establishment of wonderful organizations like the New York Buyers Club. It even led to some great movies and plays. So in that spirit, I want to express my gratitude to all people living with HIV and to the multitudes that are not here who did not survive it. Their struggle to survive and bring positive changes enriched my life and supported a more compassionate and open society. One of the many differences between Western medicine's approach to illness and holistic therapies like acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, which I'll call TCM, is that Western medicine is based on a disease model. TCM and acupuncture are based more on a health model. The focus of Western medicine is on treating a disease and its symptoms. TCM and acupuncture treat the person, the whole person, not just the disease. TCM focuses on to bring harmony and balance to the energies, organs, and functional systems of the body so that they can heal. Bringing increased balance and harmony to the body's energy supports the body's ability to contain and rid the energies that are creating the imbalances and thus creating dis-ease. TCM treats the whole person, and it does it holistically by focusing on the interconnectedness and the health of the body, spirit, mind of the person. I have come to understand through 35 years of practice how important this holistic approach is to actual healing and maintaining a much more healthy life. Focusing on the disease model has set up a medical system that often ignores the health of the body. Actually, many Western medicines have serious side effects that harm the body and its ability to function. I'm reminded of this constantly watching TV ads. Maybe 4-hour, erections aren't harmful to the body. I don't know. TCM's focus is not just on lessening symptoms, but on increasing the body's healing energies so that there can be a greater degree of health and vitality and increased function maintained. It is important to remember that aging is a natural process. TCM does not see aging as pathological. Taoism, which is a Chinese philosophy that's actually a lot of classical acupuncture therapy evolved from, had a significant focus on longevity. It developed many techniques and practices to increase the vital energies of the body, to supporting a longer and healthier life. These included acupuncture, herbal therapies, qigong, tai chi, the energetic properties of food and diet, and meditation for peace of mind. These practices are still around today, hundreds, even thousands of years after they were first developed. And there's a growing interest in them in the modern world. And the reason is they work. They are effective at increasing the vitality and health of the body, mind, and spirit. Acupuncture and herbs were two of the main medical modalities used for over 2,000 years in China and other parts of Asia. They were the main symptoms used to address all illnesses. So when a new disease like HIV came down the pike in our world, in their world, they would have to find theories to explain why this is, what are the causes, and then how do we address these problems. And they would use acupuncture and they would use herbs to do this largely. They were researched constantly, and the base of the knowledge of acupuncture and TCM were constantly being invigorated and fine-tuned through this extensive research. TCM sees the aging process as something to be respected. In TCM, the issues of aging are caused by a decline in the righteous energies of the body. The righteous energies are qi, blood, jing. Jing is this vital life force that basically you inherit when you're born. The decline in these energies are accompanied by excesses of perverse energies, wind, damp, cold, heat. Some of these perverse energies have invaded the body. Others have accumulated in response to dealing with invasions or imbalances in the body. An example would be an increase in mucus or phlegm when you have parasites, to try to move them out of the body, to rid them. Development of creating more damp to deal with the constant inflammation that's really affecting the body. And inflammation comes often from stagnation of the body's vital energies. What happens if the righteous energy is strong enough, the body can actually rid some of these invaders and some of these excess accumulations. If it's not strong enough to do that, and I'm talking about invasions that start from the moment you're born. So if it's not strong enough to do that, what it does is it contains it and tries to put it somewhere in the body, kind of wrapped up with like immune system things and these righteous energies so that it does the least amount of harm. So with aging, what happens is you start to lose some of this righteous energy. It's been depleted. You've been using it and often not treating it very nicely over our lifetimes. So what happens then is that these accumulations and these invaders that have been dormant, kind of in a latency stage, start to actually come back into our mainstream energies. And then you start to get much more symptoms. Many of these are the symptoms that we see in aging. With the decline of this energy, there's a greater tendency to stagnation as well, in the flow of qi and blood in the body. These stagnations cause a lot of health problems that you see in aging. Heart disease would be a very good example of what that is. Of course, Chronic diseases like HIV, diabetes, hepatitis really complicate and speed up the aging process. The righteous energies of the body have had many more demands put on it to deal with these chronic diseases for decades. These diseases are usually hard on the immune system and digestive systems, as well as on the healthy qualities of our organs. Another major detrimental issue for our body is the buildup of toxins over time. And our world is really toxic and imbalanced and getting so probably, like unfathomably so, I would say, actually, when we're looking at what we're dealing with here. The good news is that there are therapies like acupuncture and herbal remedies, nutritional supplements, and healthy lifestyle choices that can support righteous energies and help the body contain and rid the excesses. I have seen acupuncture and herbs effectively treat many of the diseases seen as part of the aging process. These same issues are often seen in all HIV positive people, and when aging and HIV meet, these problems are often much more intense and resistance to being addressed. I'm going to list some of the health issues and diseases that I have repeatedly seen acupuncture. I particularly work with acupuncture, and I've seen this a lot, and herbs effectively address. When clients add in lifestyle changes, the positive lifestyle changes we're talking about here, you get a much better effect and it lasts much longer. I have observed acupuncture having a very positive impact on the digestive and immune systems. I have seen it support organ systems and their function. So examples of this would be the liver, helping the liver to detoxify more effectively. Okay? There's actually even treatments that are very effective to help prevent fatty liver, which is becoming, with all the drugs, a real problem, and it almost can't be addressed by normal Western medical practices. I think I'll put that in quotes. You could look at the kidney. The kidney's responsible for bone. So by supporting the kidney function, you can get a lot of help for the whole bone issues of the body, keeping them healthier, keeping them stronger. It's very good for fatigue. You can't miss it. It's very good for lessening stress. It has an amazing ability to move blood and qi, thus lessening many pain issues. It's very good for headaches, back pain. It's really good for back pain even caused by degenerative disc disease. It's all really effective for all forms of arthritis and muscular pains. I've actually seen it help injuries heal much quicker, and it will lessen the pain while it's actually supporting the healing. It can support the kidney and heart and circulatory systems. It's very effective in moving stagnations in the stomach and intestines. You see that tremendously in HIV disease. It's very clear that acupuncture has a very strong anti-inflammatory effect on the body. It can support the blood, making of blood and energy. It can help the body rid the excesses of wind, damp, cold, and heat. Not only does it lessen stress, but it's very effective for depression and anxiety. I've actually, in the last period, had some clients who have transplants, organ transplants. Some of them have a liver transplant, some lung transplants. I had never known before working with this how effective it is for transplants. It's actually a crime that it's not being used in the transplant clinics, because it actually, the people who came because their organs were, their transplant organs were starting to fail, especially like in cystic fibrosis. The lung starts to have cystic fibrosis, the new lungs. And what happened was we saw their function of these organs went back to what it was almost had never been, not for years. And it really, really supports the organs that are trying to integrate with this stranger. And it helps that be a much less negative process for the body. I mean, I've actually was blown away. I decided that it's a crime that this isn't being researched for. Especially when you can't find organs. Why not keep one 20 years instead of 10? You know? It's also very helpful in dealing with many of the side effects of medications. A particular one is neuropathy. But it's good for a lot of the digestive side effects of meds as well. Western medicine found the medicine that could contain the HIV virus, giving HIV people a chance at a longer life and even to become elderly. Acupuncture, herbs, nutritional supplements, healthier diets, regular exercise, sufficient sleep, stress reduction are key to keeping the body's organs, energies, and immune and digestive systems functioning in a healthier way. And this can make a huge difference in our elder years. Aging is not easy in a society that sees all of us as commodities, and our only main value is what we produce and how much money we make. Older cultures respected elders. People went to them for advice. We go to the internet. As we age, we can be sucked into seeing ourselves and our lives in many negative ways. TV ads are targeting the growing elderly population, selling drugs and surgeries to them, so they can be someone else and not be the authentic person that they are now. We have a hard time in society being satisfied with ourselves and our lives, and this is often even more of a problem with aging. There are so many things we are not anymore and cannot do anymore. I would argue that our elder years are a time when we can have increased opportunities to be our true selves. Our lives till now have been filled with endless social society demands and roles. Be a good kid, be a good student, be a responsible adult, be a good parent, work hard. Now these roles and demands are not as relevant to our lives and our choices. If we can let go of fear, if we can let go of the habits of worrying and being invested in meeting these social demands, we can find completion and satisfaction in who we are now, and allow our warm hearts and learned wisdom to be present in our lives and inform our choices. We can all appreciate and enjoy a more heartfelt and more dynamic aging process, no matter what illnesses we are dealing with.